updates from the camp of the Black Stars days to the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Now, the Black Stars were in Cardiff. They were at the Cardiff City Stadium in Wales to take on the Dragons of Wales in the friendly game. It's what's supposed to be their last friendly game before they play Panama on the 17th of June in their very first game in the group stages at the World Cup. Now, it was a game that ended Hannes even. Black Stars scoring first through Caleb Yirenkyi, and then also later in the game, Luis Kumas pulling or drawing parity for the Dragons of Wales. But then coach Carlos Queiroz named his 26-man squad for the World Cup. And interestingly, after submitting days before that a 28-man provisional squad for the World Cup, he only had to take out 2 goalkeepers. Now, one of the goalkeepers is the young goalkeeper Rivers, and then also the other one has to be Accra Hartlepool goalkeeper Solomon Agbasi. Now, during his encounter with the media, the head coach, that's Carlos Queiroz, stated emphatically that he had to drop the 2 goalkeepers, but then there's one special player who will be accompanying the 26-man squad to the USA and will stay there for emergency reasons. So in the event someone gets hurt or injured, then it means that this player will replace that player in the squad. And the player is none other than Solomon Agbasi, the Hartlepool goalkeeper. So he has been tagged as the 27th player in the team. So it's not been bad for the Black Stars. Just one game under coach Carlos Queiroz, but then the signs are still bright. Some people are even thinking that, it's the first game. Should he get even 2 more games before a game against Panama? Perhaps he could work magic with the squad. But let's go through the squad. Let's see the update. So the latest update is that Alexander Djiku got injured just days before the commencement of the World Cup, which means that he wouldn't be able to play at the Mondial. So coach Carlos Queiroz also addressed the media, speaking about the fact that they had to substitute him with another defender, and a defender that has been brought in to replace Djiku is Derek Lucassen, who plays for Pafos, and he is a high-scoring defender as well. This season, he played in the UEFA Champions League with Pafos. They had a fairy tale ride, and he really established himself, as a solid defender. So in place of Djiku, we've seen Derek Lucassen replace him in the squad. Now, another thing that the head coach also said is the fact that, no one is guaranteed a place. He still needs to go through a lot of exercises, training sessions, training matches, to select a perfect 11 to represent the Black Stars, at the World Cup. So even in the friendly against Wales, we didn't see Antoine Semenyo feature. He was on the bench throughout the game. A total of 21 players played in that friendly game against Wales. Only one of these players lasted the entire 90 minutes, and that's Wolfsburg defender Jonas Ajete. He's the only one. The Black Stars are set to depart Wales, head straight to the Americas to prepare for the FIFA World Cup. So that's the latest as far as the Black Stars is concerned. Now we have some news for you regarding the FIFA World Cup with regards to the teams, heading to the competition. Now, as we speak, most of the teams, have already landed in the United States of America. You have the likes of England touching down in Miami, Florida. You have Brazil also making it there. So you have quite a number of the teams, the national teams already in the United States of America. Some also moving all the way to Mexico, also the Canada, as preparations intensify for the FIFA World Cup. And not long ago, FIFA also confirmed that all 48 countries have provided their squad for the FIFA World Cup, which means that there are over 1,000 players, set to feature in this year's World Cup. And we'll be bringing you some interesting statistics as far as, all that data is concerned. Who is the oldest player? Who is the youngest player? How many players over the age of 40 are we going to see at the World Cup? Mind you, Cristiano Ronaldo will be playing in his 6th World Cup, and he's just the only man ever to have scored in 5 different World Cup editions. So should he score in this particular World Cup, then he extends that record to 6. So there's so much news. We also moved to the camp of the Black Stars, that's Ghana, to see what's happening, because the Black Stars of Ghana were also involved in the friendly game against the Dragons of Wales. It ended 1-1, but then Ghanaians are not so much happy, with the result. Some are also saying that, it's a much better performance as compared to the previous ones under coach Otto Addo. So there's still quite a lot more right here on the Al Media channel. This is the World Cup fever here with me, Josiah. Now let's begin with some news, coming across from, countries heading to the World Cup. Now, Brazil moved all the way from Rio to the United States of America to prepare for the World Cup. And guess what happened? The entire entourage were in the plane, and the plane was being baptized with some sort of holy water, right before the plane jet off from Brazil and made that stop in the United States of America. And that's what you're currently watching. That's the Brazil team, going through some pacification or some rituals. Like, I just don't know how to call it. But yeah, there's a team that has Neymar as part of it, after there were concerns that he could be ruled out of the World Cup. It later came out that, he could stay fit. But I don't know, if you're superstitious, then you could be wondering, like, what are they doing? We are talking about the most successful team in the history of the World Cup. 5-time winners of the competition. The last time they won it was some 24 years ago in 2002 at the Korea-Japan tournament. And this is how they feel like they need to pacify or even cleanse themselves. As the plane moves, you could see, water sprinkling from two, big cars or tankers, just sprinkling holy water. Some are saying that, it's just a ritual to cleanse the players because they feel there's been some level of bad omen, surrounding this team in the last 5 editions. They've not won it in a long time, and they'll be hoping that under Carlo Ancelotti, they'll be able to make a mark at the upcoming competition. Now, let's move away from Brazil. Let's go all the way to Switzerland, where Switzerland have got one of their players, not traveling with a team to the United States of America due to some criminal issues. Now, the player we're talking about is Breel Embolo, whom Switzerland will really be counting on, to get them the goals at the World Cup. Now, Breel Embolo was actually involved in a criminal, incident some 6 or 7 years back. It's been quite a long time the issue happened. But then, there was a verdict last year, and then the young chap had to appeal. But then, unfortunately, the appeal was also withheld, which means that since he's facing some, criminal charges and all that in Switzerland, his, visa wasn't granted. So it means that Switzerland could really face some tough decisions as far as, taking their striker to the World Cup is concerned. Now, he's trying to facilitate himself or his way all the way from Switzerland to the United States of America for the World Cup. But then that's until perhaps some legal, proceedings, has happened until he knows that he's traveling. But for Switzerland, they are very much worried that this young man is not going to the World Cup at this time. It's so worrying because other teams have started with their preparations. And Switzerland will be playing their very first game on the 13th of June. And they feel that they have to do whatever they can necessary to make Breel Embolo, navigate his way through these criminal issues so that he can be with the team when they move all the way to the Americas to play in the FIFA World Cup. Information we are picking up is that FIFA is set to allow coaches, to use laptops, to disseminate tactical information to players during cooling breaks at the World Cup. This is the first of its kind. Nothing like that has ever happened. So, since the inception of football or even modern football, we've seen coaches, try to lay out these really tactical information to players using the tactical board. But just recently, one of the friendly games leading to the World Cup involving the United States of America and Senegal, we saw USA head coach, Mauricio Pochettino, use a laptop to relay information to the players. And the information we are currently picking up is that, FIFA has allowed, they've sanctioned that, coaches can have the privilege of using laptops to give out information to players ahead or during the FIFA World Cup, which will quite be nice because there will be water breaks in between, depending on the weather conditions, and these coaches, will have the luxury of perhaps, showing, some videos or whatever it is that they think can actually help their players grasp whatever information they are relaying to them. So it's one of the news or information we are picking up from FIFA that coaches are now permitted to use laptops to send out information to players during cooling break at the World Cup. Now let's move all the way from the US. Now let's go to Argentina, where Lionel Messi also trained ahead of the FIFA World Cup with Argentina. Now Lionel Messi, in his last game for Inter Miami in the MLS, he had to be subbed off after he felt discomfort in his thigh. But as we speak, he trained alone, ahead of Argentina's first game at the 2026 World Cup. Mind you that Lionel Messi guided Argentina to victory at the World Cup, the third time Argentina as a country won the FIFA World Cup tournament, and he was also voted the best player in that particular competition. So they come into the 2026 FIFA World Cup as the defending champions, and the others will definitely rely on Lionel Messi and his charges, to try and win it for the fourth time in their history. But then the good news for Lionel Messi fans and Argentina fans is that he is back and he has trained. He trained alone, and certainly in the next couple of days they'll be hoping that he can join the team so they prepare for Argentina's games in the World Cup. This FIFA World Cup will be quite historic because there's a record number of players aged 40 and above who are going to play in this particular tournament. So the oldest player who is going to feature at the FIFA World Cup is Gordon Strachan, who is the goalkeeper for Scotland. He is 43 years of age and he is going to feature at the FIFA World Cup. So Craig Gordon, actually, the Scotland goalkeeper, who is 43 years of age, will be the oldest player at the FIFA World Cup, whilst the youngest player at the FIFA World Cup will be Mexico's Gilberto Mora, who is only 17 years of age. And guess what? 7 players are 40 and above, are aged 40 and above, going to this particular World Cup, which includes Craig Gordon, who is Scotland's goalkeeper, and then also, most notably, Cristiano Ronaldo, who will be leading Portugal, and then also Luka Modric of Croatia. Now, there are just 22 players under the age of 20 heading to the FIFA World Cup. And also, there are 449 clubs representing the FIFA World Cup from 71 different countries, and that's quite a high number. Now, let's move into details. Let's take a look at other numbers behind the FIFA World Cup. So, 25 years separates the tournament's oldest player. That's Craig Gordon, who is currently 43 years old and 162 days, 43 years and 162 days old. And then also the youngest player who would also feature for Mexico, Gilberto Mora, who is also 17 years and 240 days old. So the vast gap, the gap in age between the oldest player at the FIFA World Cup and the youngest player at the FIFA World Cup is a whopping 25 years. That's number over there. And then also you have 104 matches to be played in the FIFA World Cup across the US, Canada, and Mexico. And that is a record number of matches we would see. Now, the number of players who have previously played at the World Cup, we have 357 players who are playing in this FIFA World Cup that have previously tasted World Cup football. And then also there's a total of 449 clubs being represented at the FIFA World Cup. Now, there's also 891 World Cup first-timers, players who are set to make their debut at the FIFA World Cup, and that's such a high number. And then also a total of 1,248 players will be playing for the 48 countries at the FIFA World Cup. These are incredible numbers, but then, yes, we'll still be feeding you with all the trivia, but then most importantly, very concerning numbers from the FIFA World Cup. Do subscribe to our channel on YouTube, and then also across the various social media handles. We'll bring you everything about the World Cup right here on the Our Media.